In search of a catalyst, are value managers staging a comeback? Value managers have become a dying breed, their investment style come to be seen as toxic over a period of 10 years. Fund groups such as Baillie Gifford, Lindsell and Fundsmith Equity that have poured money into so-called quality growth companies have dominated performance tables and attracted billions of pounds into their funds. The top fund in the UK all companies sector, Slater Growth, has returned 365.1% over the past 10 years, 164.9% more than the strongest performing value fund, River and Mercantile UK Recovery, at 196.7%. A Morningstar report from January last year revealed that 92% of global equities funds under management were growth-focused, compared with just 8% that were value-centric. The curious thing is 10 or 15 years ago, there used to be thousands of value managers, says Seven Investment Management Chief Strategist Terence Moll. These days, you get virtually no value managers. But more recently value has begun staging a comeback. From September 2019 to the end of January 2020, the MSCI UK Value Index has toppled MSCI UK Growth, climbing 5.2% as the other is down by 0.8%. Value-centric funds such as Alastair Mundy's Investec Special Situations and Henry Dixon's, pictured, Man GLG Undervalued Assets strategies were back on top of the UK all companies sector, while Nick Train's Lindsell UK Equity Fund, one of the strongest performers of the past decade, was at the very bottom. Closing the gap. Gary Potter, co-head of the BMO Gam multi-manager team, does not think quality growth slip-up in September was a blip and expects to see further underperformance from growthier managers. Nothing against Nick Train, but he had a tough period, which he expected, by the way, Potter said at a roundtable event at the beginning of January. And yet everyone just keeps buying it on the basis they think he can repeat it, but perhaps that's not quite so likely. Willis Owen, head of personal investing Adrian Locock, says that while pure value managers have struggled in relative terms during the past decade, many have still made money in absolute terms. Hugh Sargent's R&M UK Recovery, Alex Savidi's Jockm UK Dynamic and Ben Whitmore's Jupiter UK Special Situations are all in the first quartile of funds in the UK all companies sector over a 10-year period. The 12 strongest performing value funds all did better than the MSCI UK Value Index, which returned 98.3% in sterling terms, while the top 7 managed to beat the UK all companies sector average, 131.9%, and even the MSCI UK Growth, 133%. The gap between value and growth over 10 years is not as marked as people make it out to be, according to Chelsea Financial Services Managing Director Darius McDermott. It shows you that even with the headwind, value managers can outperform. Recipe for value. But what is the recipe behind the S? For more on this story, visit the news article link.